Serious trauma detected. Agent deceased.
No, don't get me up, dude. No. Don't do it, Steve. This is terrible. I'm gonna go down immediately. He's pulling me up into my own.
Immediate medical assistance.
What's up, agents? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's hanging in there, being as safe as you guys need to be. Today we're continuing on with our 5-minute build guide series, or more appropriate, the summarized build guide series. Very few of these have actually been under 5 minutes, but I am cutting them significantly shorter. Anyway, today we're just going to go over the basic idea of how the build works, the gearing that you'll use for it, and you guys will see a little bit of a gameplay in the background of how to actually play in Legendary using this build. I will go ahead and throw the caveat out there that there are significantly better builds you can be using, but if you absolutely have to use the Oxidizer, try this build out. Alright, before we get into the build, do me a favor, agents, smash that like button. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, hopefully by the end of this video I will. The best thing you can do to help my channel out is to share this video. And if you guys have any ideas, any questions, or you have some synergies that might even work better in this build, please leave a comment. Alright, let's get right on into it. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is cover the specialization. We're going to go ahead and use the technician. This will give you the amp for the +1 skill tier. This will allow you to run a weapon core or an armor core someplace. I tend to prefer armor core most of the time. In this particular build though, I happen to be running weapon core right now. Go figure. You got the Faraday field. The Faraday field will keep yourself and any allies that are within 5 meters of your undisrupted deployed skill from being shocked or disrupted. You get access to the link laser pointer, certain weapons. You can put this on. This will pulse targets, give them the benefit of spotter as well as keep an eye on the enemies. You also get the overclock CPU for an additional 10% skill damage. Now, as far as the skills go, obviously we're going to be using the Oxidizer since that's the main thing that this build is based around. Now, as far as the secondary skill, you can opt for the Artificer Hive if you want to bump your damage up even more. Also in a group, this will help to buff the entire team. So I think the Artificer is great. Alternatively, two other great choices is the Assault Turret, so that you could effectively have a distraction and another form of DPS. The other option is you could use something like the Stinger Hive, which I tend to go for. This is just for a little extra area denial. Really, use whatever secondary skill you like the best. You could even use a heal if you wanted to. This build is a bit squishy. Alright, as far as the gear goes, we'll cover the brand sets. I will quickly note, you can use the memento in this, and that is a great way of giving yourself quite a lot of utility. In this version of the build, we won't be using it, but just keep in mind that you could swap out the memento, and it would probably do even better than we're seeing in the background gameplay. We're using 1 piece of Wyvern for the skill damage. We're using 3 pieces of Empress International for the skill health, the skill damage, and the skill efficiency, which will give us skill damage as well as duration and some skill cooldown. Efficiency is great. Now we have 2 other spots available. I do recommend running Mirakami in one of those slots as the 20% duration does affect the cloud. Unfortunately, the mods for the gear does not. The skill duration mods do not, but the brand set duration does. So you can use a Miah-Pinion to a good effect. Then the last piece, it's really kind of the dealer's choice, whatever you want to use. Because we're using amp, I went for the contractor's gloves. This gives me the bonus damage to armor. This would be the thing that you may swap out instead for the memento. You know, you got plenty of different things. You can use Badger Tough for some shotgun damage. You can use some Bellstone Armory for some armor regen. That last piece, use whatever you want to use. As far as the mods go, we're going to go all skill haste mods across the board. And as far as the attributes, you're going to want to go with skill damage every place. After that, I prefer armor regen per second over skill haste, but you may prefer the skill haste to get your chem launcher back that much quicker. Now, as far as the chest talents, we're going glass cannon for maximum damage. The backpack talent, you can either go with tech support or combined arms, whichever one you prefer. I prefer tech support for the majority of the gameplay. However, once it comes time for boss battle, I'll often switch out for combined arms. If there's no additional enemies for me to kill to proc tech support, I'm getting nothing out of it. So that way, switching to combined arms at that point makes it so I can get that bonus damage. Now, as far as our weapons and talents, as always, choose what works best for you. I decided to go with the Capacitor as my exotic. This gives me a bunch of bonus skill damage, as well as stacking up quite a bit of weapon damage. Now, as far as your secondary weapon, dealer's choice, use whatever you want to use. I prefer a weapon with in sync to get that bonus damage. One thing I would consider is running the mop for a little extra sustainability with that 10% armor on kill. It also comes with that 12% damage to armor, so that does buff up the chem launcher quite a bit. And last, for the sidearm, we just going with the backup boomstick with Future Perfect. This gives us a method to overcharge if we have the presence of mind to do so. Alright, so that being said, I think ultimately the best combo of gear that you could run if you have it would be 1 Wyvern, 3 Empress, 1 Murakami, and the Memento backpack. Alright, agents, so that's pretty much the gist of the build. So one major misconception, a lot of people think that the Oxidizer is a status effect. It is not. You want to build this just like you would build any other skill build. Status effects will not do anything to help the build out. One of the things you want to do is avoid open areas with this build. It's very easy to get flanked, and if you get into a bad position, you will go down very quick, especially considering we're using glass cannon. So what that means is we want to go ahead and try to bottleneck the enemies as much as possible. Pull them back into a small little bottleneck and lay down as much area denial in there and force them to go through it. Not many things will actually be able to get through that if you can do it effectively. Another big thing you have to consider, since we do have a cloud that stays around for almost 20 seconds, you do want to consider where you're shooting your chem launcher. You might not be able to get out of the area without going through one of your clouds, and you will go down instantly in your own clouds. No, don't get me up, dude. No. Don't do it, Steve. This is terrible. I'm going to go down immediately. He's pulling me up into my own.
Immediate.
So, do have the presence of mind of where you're placing your chem launcher clouds. Another cool thing is, since you can't kill your teammates with your Oxidizer, you could actually put clouds directly on your teammates, and this will at least protect them from getting pushed on. So that is one advantage. You can play very strategically with this build if you get used to playing it. Not one of my favorite builds, but definitely can be effective. As you guys see in the background, it's working pretty darn good. All right, agents, that's pretty much it for here. Do me a favor. If you like this, smash that like button up there. Hopefully by now I have earned your subscription. Best thing you can do to help my channel is to share this video. If you have any questions, concerns, you see anything I'm doing wrong, leave a comment down below. You agents, be as safe as you need to be, and I'll catch you all in the dark zone.
Assistance needed. Agent out. Agent down.